Now, when we talk about on-premises to the cloud migration, guys, depending on how complex business solution that you will be running, right? Depending on it, decide what kind of the migration you will going to run. Now, guys, how to conduct the migration, guys? So when we talk about migration have multiple like rehosting, refactoring. Have you heard about it, guys? Rehosting, refactoring. These terminology, guys. Rehosting only, right? What you are doing, you're not changing anything new, right? Whatever you are running on the on-premises, let's say everything is running on the infrastructure as a service. I would like to bring it as it is, like the infrastructure as a service, right? Refactoring, I may want to consider additional solutions which are already available on Azure. Let's say previously I was capturing the data in my on-premises file share or file server. In Azure, Microsoft is giving me the storage account. I would like to reduce my cost. So rather going as it is on the cloud or migrating my this file server from the on-premises to the cloud, what I will do, I will only migrate the data. I will create a file share in my storage account. Following guys? You got the point? Have
Yes,
you
it
heard
does.
about data boxes, guys? Is it online or it is offline, guys? You have data box online. You have data box offline as well. Now, right now, I'm just talking with respect to data only right now. Okay. I'm not talking about the server because when you migrate a server, you migrate the entire environment and the application inside the server, right? And also you need to do the compatibility check of the operating system, of the underlying hardware. Then you need to do the size-based assessment and the performance-based assessment. But when you migrate the data, do we need to do that? Probably size, maybe. Let's say you have ample amount of the space available to migrate the data, but you can move your data, right? Any local file that you have with 200 GB or let's say 20 GB, right? You can upload it in your storage account as well, right? You can click on the file and you can hit on the upload button, right? What it is doing, it is moving the data from the local to your storage account, right? Don't you think that is also a migration, guys? Yeah. We talked about the Storage Explorer, right? That is also a migration tool. Remember Storage Explorer? Just like your Outlook application, you can configure multiple storage account, right? You remember that? That you have this particular Storage Explorer and you can configure your storage account and you can do the operation, right? That operation can be uploading the data as well. That is also an operation, right? That can also help you doing the migration. What do you say, guys? That is migration only, right? What about this data factory, guys? Extracting, transformation, and loading, right? But that extraction and transformation and loading somewhere that can be also utilized for the migration. What do you think? Can we call it as a data migration tool? Extraction, transformation, and loading. When you do the upload, what happen? It extract the file from the local and upload it somewhere, right? Transformation is not there. But here it is also doing the migration only, right? Let me create a storage account, guys. Let me show you over here. See, I'm creating this storage account, okay? Let's see. While going to do that. See, migration is a simple term, moving the data. Now, in middle, what you would like to do it, that is your business requirement, right? What do you mean by migration? Moving the data from one location to the another, right? Do you have any other definition of migration, guys? Migration is moving. Let's say, okay. Have anybody watched National Geographic, guys? Not recently, anytime, guys. In Serengeti in Africa, right? Many animals migrate, guys, during summers, right? When the water is less, they move the near location of the rivers, right? Every year this happens. Your birds also migrate from one location to the another. We call them migrating birds, right? Nowadays, right, as the internet 5G has been launched, right? Recently 7G was tested in Amsterdam, and there are a lot of birds who died, right? And it mess up with the exactly for the what you can call it, that electricity generates the magnetism, right? So they are not able to follow the path, so migrating birds died a lot of time like that. So migration is basically nothing, it's just movement of something from one place to another, right? Let's say I'm in India, I will be moving to US or Canada or Australia, that I'll be migrating, right? So migration doesn't mean anything apart from moving from one place to the another. Now in the middle, would you like to modify it, would you like to copy it? That is your business requirement. So data factory is also data transformation tool. That too, it will be considered as a data migration tool as well. Got the point, guys? So never get confused, guys. Whenever I'm saying migration, so while you are moving the data, you are also migrating it, right? From one place to the another. Let me show you guys. When you create a storage account, within the storage account, you will get these options available, guys. Let me show you. You remember, guys, that storage file sync service we talked about? That it is syncing the data which you are keeping it in a normal D drive and it is syncing to the Azure file share. Don't you think that is also migration, guys? So when we are talking about data migration, right? Data can be migrated in various different ways. We'll talk about server migration and database migration, but guys, you have multiple options, guys. You can also utilize your command line like az copy, robocopy, right? For keeping the copying the data from one place to the another. All right, guys. You see, guys, there's a storage account. You see, guys, data migration option over here. So when you're migrating the data, it is giving you the option, what are your data sources from where you may want to migrate the data from. So you can migrate it from another storage account like blob file shares, right? Or let's say you may want to migrate it from the on-premises to your blob over here, for an example. Now it is asking you what is the size of the data that you would like to migrate. Let's say I have 100 terabyte of the data that I may want to migrate. How much bandwidth you would like to spend? So currently we are talking about online data transfer, right? Online and offline, that you decide. If you have enough bandwidth, if you have 100 GB of the data transferred, right? It can be a huge data, can impact your ongoing business work if it is being conducted in your business hours, right? So you may want to conduct it offline. Is it making sense, guys? How you decide what decisions or what migration you need to conduct online and offline, depending how much bandwidth it will be consuming, and while consuming the bandwidth, how much impact it will be going to happen during your business hour. If it is not fruitful, it is impacting your business badly, increasing the cost unnecessarily, you will go with the offline migration. Otherwise, you have online migration. Your data file share that you have, right? That you are keeping the data on the shared location. We talked about file sync service, which can sync the data which you are storing locally, the storage explorer, your data factory. What are these? It is helping you moving the data. So let's say I would like to go for a speed of, let's say, 1 GB per second over here. You see, guys, whether it is once or repetitively. So basically, data factory you will be using when you need to do the repetitive data transfer, right? Following? That on daily basis there will be a CSV file will be converted into SQL and then it will be injected into your database, right? On daily basis, if you need to conduct that, you will go for data factory, right? But let's say if it is a one-time migration, do you think, guys, data factory is a huge cost for that, isn't it? Why we create a pipeline, guys? What is a pipeline? Let's say you have a water pipeline. What is the purpose of it? You have the water source somewhere and you want to supply the water to your house, right? That is the reason you require a pipeline. What it is trying to do? It is
So
trying
continuous.
to continuous thing, right? You need water on daily basis, right? It is not a one-time job. If you have a one-time job, you should not have the pipeline. You have a water container which will be moving from one place to the another. What the point, guys? Consider your data is just like a water. If it is a
Yep.
dirty water, you want to have a pipeline which will have a lot of filters like your water guard that it will purify the water and then give it to you. Keep it. Just like your data transformation, right? The way you transform the water from a dirty water to a clean water, right? With the help of filters. Similarly, the data is unstructured. You are moving the data and you want to do some operation to convert it. You are keeping it in the pipeline. Clear? But let's say you want to have a as it is. You can create a pipeline which is a copy pipeline where the transformation is not there. It is copying the data in the same format. You can inject it into your blob or into your data lake. So you have similar kind of a things, guys. But for copying it, don't you think data factory is way expensive? Let's say if you already have a clean water, don't you think the pipeline which will have the filter those filters are unnecessary? So you will pick the
Yep.
solution accordingly. You will pick the solution like file sync, that whatever file that you will be coming into the local, you want to sync the file as it is. Clear? Or maybe if it is consuming too much of the bandwidth, you will say, okay, I would like to do this operation maybe in off business hours. You may want to schedule a pipeline probably in the off business hours, or you may want to schedule an execution of the command in the off business hours, right? So these are your data migration options, what we are looking at the moment, right? Let's say if I'm saying once I would like to do, you see, guys, easy copy, data factory can be utilized. If you have a customization with the API, if you have a REST API, that if you have your own custom API created, you can also use it. Then you have data box offline. You see, guys, data box disk, data box online, data box gateway over here. You see, guys, what are these? Azure file sync. That is also data import and export tool can be utilized. Got the point, guys? Following? What are these? Data migration tools. Clear? Okay, coming back. So data box online and data box offline. Now, on what basis that we need to take the decision over here? That If it is impacting the bandwidth, then I would like to go for a offline mode. If it is not impacting the bandwidth, I would like to go for a online mode. Clear? And you have the options available. Now, currently, what we will going to talk about is the data boxes. Now, why data boxes, guys? Because file sync, we have discussed about it. You have seen File Explorer as well, right? Data Factory is basically for the data engineers where they require transformation. So we don't need to look into that particular requirement, right? Further, you have this particular option called data boxes that can be utilized. Now, when we talk about data boxes offline, it comes in three categories. You have data box disk, you have data box, and you have data box heavy. Now, data box disk, when you don't need to do heavy lifting of the data, the maximum data that you can transfer using the data disk will be up to 40 terabyte. Um, it support 3 USB connections at a time. So what you do that you order these devices from Microsoft, they will ship that device to your local location. You will connect that device to your data center, transfer the data and ship it back to Microsoft. And on your behalf, they will be uploading the data on Azure for you. So you are not uploading the data from your local location, neither it will be utilizing your bandwidth. For the security of the device and your data, Microsoft will be using AES 128-bit encryption. So anything happen to that device, anything goes wrong, you should be able to manage it without any problem, guys. Clear? Following this, guys? All right, guys. So maximum 40 GB that you can do that. It can support 3 USB cable. AES 128-bit encryption will be utilized. Comes with a pack of 5. And with each pack, you can up to 8 terabyte of the data that you can upload over here. So for not heavy lifting, light lifting of the data that you can do with the help of that. For medium size of the data, what we can utilize over here is your data box. Clear, guys? Now, when we talk about the data box, it can support up to 100 terabyte over here, right? And it uses AES 256-bit encryption over here. And it can transfer the data with a speed of 1 to 10 GB per second as well. So you can see, guys, if you need to do this quickly, this can be another example, guys. Because if you have, let's say, 100 terabyte of the data, which you are moving it in the chunk, it can take time, right? But if you need to get this done as quickly as possible, order the device, it will be shipped, let's say, in 1 or 2 days in your city, upload the data, ship it back. Probably in a week, you can complete the entire migration itself. Clear? Then you have data box heavy. So data box heavy can support up to 1 petabyte, guys. 1 petabyte is equivalent to 1000 terabyte, right? Now, out of 1000 terabyte, up to 800 terabyte is usable over here, and it can support also. It is also encrypted device. This is 256-bit encryption that it will be utilizing over here, right? And it can also help you moving the data up to 40 GB per second, guys. So you can finish any sort of heavy lifting of the data in less amount of the time if you're ordering these devices. Clear, guys? All right, guys, coming back. So we were talking about online data box, right? Now, online data box, if you just need to transfer the data, you don't need to do the customization on top of it. You can just directly go with the data box. You can connect your data box with your device. Basically, it's a virtual device that you will have on the cloud. You will be able to connect your machine with the help of that, and you can initiate that particular transfer. But let's say, what if you need to pre-process the data? Pre-process means that you have good amount of the data, but certain piece of the information you may not want to upload it, or you may want to customize it with the help of the script, right? And the device is also artificially intelligent. That is your data box edge that we are talking about. That it can pre-process the data. It does allow you to do the scripting on top of it, and further, it have the option available for the caching, and it can cache the data up to 12 terabyte as well. So let's say usually when you transfer the data online, the data corruption happen because of the fluctuating bandwidth. But if you have a device which can manage that, and during the fluctuation, if it is capable of keeping the data in the cache up to 12 terabyte, right? It means that it can help you for doing the transfer efficiently with less chances of data corruption. Following, guys? So in that particular situation, you can go with DataBox Edge. So it is having a built-in IoT device that will be utilized, right? And it is also AI integrated, basically. Okay, guys. So consider these two options as well before you are planning to do any sort of the data migration, guys. Okay. Because sometime you may want to pick solutions from the Azure, and you the only requirement that you have not just to rehost but to refactor. And let's say if you have a monitoring information that you would like to move or any sort of the data which doesn't have much of the solution implication, these are the solution that can be utilized. Clear, guys? Now it will be falling under the consideration of the refactoring, that whatever component that you are refactored, that what else can be explored on the cloud for the betterment, guys.
Well, that was our expert, and thank you so much for staying with us till the end of the video. Now all you have to do is just click the link in the description below, or if you are just starting out, just type k21academy.com/azure02. Now all you have to do is just enter name, enter email ID, enter phone number, and click on register now, and you will be redirected to this page. You can also add this to your Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, and I promise this is something that you don't want to miss. So go ahead, click on the link and step into the world where learning knows no boundaries. Till then, keep enjoying. I'll see you in the next video.